Hello, my friends. I guess you know I'm Shlomo. So today I really have probably one of the most interesting videos so far. And I'm going to focus mostly on you, meaning that most of what I will tell you relates directly to you and you can use it directly rather than just being a philosophy, even though it is rooted in some very, very deep and extensive philosophies that I developed. But I will try to present it in a very simple manner and make it applicable to your life. You know, in this whole concept of manifesting, changing reality, and so on, you have to internalize, and I'm saying it because I get many people who write to me, for example, saying, oh, you know, I'm doing all these techniques that I read about in reality transurfing, and I'm learning from Neville Goddard. And I say to them, you know, as soon as you say the word techniques, you will never succeed doing anything. There is no techniques here. Okay, this is like quantum. Everything is uncertain. It's the uncertainty principle. And the only way you can navigate in uncertainty is with your emotions, with your feelings, and with your intuition. So you have to internalize that. There is no techniques, and there is no systems, and there is no steps that you follow. You know, this is how they present it in those books, because they cannot talk to you about something uncertain. But I'm telling you how it is. It's uncertain. But even though it's uncertain, it's very workable. And I'll actually show you here an example that you will realize probably in a very powerful way what I mean. So let me show you this. Like, why do I say that you control your reality? I'll show you a very simple metaphor, example, which I think will demonstrate to you why you actually control your reality. And what it is, it's this two-face illusion. You know, there's so many of them, illusions that you look at something and it looks like an old woman and then it looks like a young woman. It looks like a rabbit and then it looks like a duck. So I'll show you this rabbit-duck thing. And I will see if I can put myself in the picture as well. All right, so here we go. So you see, you can look at it one way and it looks like a head of a duck, right? Then you look the other way and it's a rabbit with long ears. And if you think about it, you know, at least for me, when I look at it and I decide what I want to see, right? So right now I decided to see a rabbit. And you know what? I'm trying to imagine. The rabbit is running in the field, in the meadow, and there is maybe a fox chasing it. And, you know, his ears are flapping in the wind. And I am transformed to a different reality, right? With the rabbit. But now let's go back to the duck. You know, I live in Vancouver. There's lots of ducks here in the ocean. So when I look at the duck, I think ocean and waves. And the duck, you know, they are swimming in a file, like one behind each other, and they come out on the beach and they quack. So now it's a different reality, and I am the one deciding which reality I want to be in. Okay, so it's just a little demonstration that I wanted to show you how you actually control your reality, because it's very simple. Everything is simple. Don't complicate it. Now, I'm going to tell you something which I don't even know how to describe it. It's very extreme. And I actually did it more for you than for myself, because I think I'm past the stage where I want to show off or prove something or make you look at me as some kind of a, I don't know, prophet or some kind of a thing. This is not my reasoning for doing this. The reason I did this is because I want to show you and empower you to see that you can actually change the reality. Okay? So I'll show you a slide that I put in Facebook at the end of August, I think 25th of August, and then I will talk about it and explain what it is all about, okay? So let me just bring it up here. So you see, this is a post that I posted on Facebook, as it shows here, August 25th at 10:22 p.m. So I guess just before my bedtime. And it says September 16th to 30th, and I'm in 2021, there's no gimmicks here, the end of COVID-19. And then I said, it's not a prediction, and it's not a prophecy. What it is, it's pure intention. This is my intention for this to happen. Now, when it happens, it will empower you in a way that nothing ever empowered you like that. Because you will realize what it means to be a human, what kind of power you have, which today you don't realize. Because what do you compare yourself as a human? Like, as far as intelligence and abilities, what do you compare yourself to? I guess you compare yourself to another human. But, if you compare yourself to anything else that exists in this universe, you will realize how powerful you are. And really, this is all I want to do. I want to show you what a human is and what are the human capabilities, okay? So, also keep in mind that once you understand what I'm preaching here, and you will get the proof for it, you will change the reality in the whole world. Because whatever priorities you have today will change. But let's leave it. This is more for my book, which I'm just kind of working on, and soon it should be out. So I'll go to a different topic. This morning, like in every morning, I go up the mountain. I hike up this mountain every morning, and I realized something. And what I realized is that I am actually not on the mountain. I am where my thoughts are. So if I'm thinking about, say, the bakery that I'm going to stop on my way back and pick up some, maybe, I don't know, croissants or some fresh bread or a baguette, right? Then I am actually in the bakery. I'm not on the mountain. And what it really means is that I am where my thoughts are, not where my physical body is. And if I am not there, I will be there. This is how you create the future, right? Because when you start to imagine something, like I told you probably in previous videos, that I imagined living in North America when I was in Israel, and I worked on it, and I read about it, and I watched pictures and movies, and my thoughts were in North America. And guess what? That's where I ended up, right? So, and this is not my quote, but there is a quote that says, a man is where his thoughts are. So he should make sure that his thoughts are where he wants to be. And I now adopted it every morning and also a few times a day, just to focus my thoughts. I say to myself, hey, you're going to be where your thoughts are. So make sure your thoughts are where you want to be. And then I start to think about all the things that are important to me, rather than just slide into some thoughts that don't lead anywhere. It's just wasting my energy. Now, keep in mind that this is very, very powerful and fundamental. Remember, you are where your thoughts are. So make sure that your thoughts are where you want to be, because you control them, at least for a short time, right? Which also means, in some ways, that like many gurus tell you that you should live in the moment. Well, if you live in the moment, you cannot manifest. You realize that there is a contradiction here. You either can manifest or you can live in the moment. I'll tell you an interesting, it's not a story actually, I read about it. It was a real research. It happened many years ago. And what they've done, they went into a company where people work on some basic salary and a commission, the salespeople. And they took a group of people that were making something like $3,000 a month, and they changed the structure of how they earn the commission without telling them, and they started to make $6,000 a month. And you know what happened? After 6 or 7 months, they readjusted themselves, the salespeople, and back to $3,000 a month. And that's very interesting, because what does it say? It says that you earn money according to your personality. So if your personality is such that you do the minimum possible just to get by as far as your income, it doesn't matter what the system is. You will always make as much as you need or you think you need, and the rest, you will waste your time rather than focusing on selling, and you will always stay in that salary range. And what the point I'm trying to make here is it's your personality at the end of the day. You decide, or your personality decides for you how much you're going to earn, how much you're going to succeed, how high you're going to go in the business world or wherever you are, and so on. It's an interesting, and like I said, this is real research. It was done on many, many people, and the results were quite, at least for me, quite amazing. Okay, the next topic, I'm going to jump from topic to topic here because most of these things are, like I said, for you, they are tools for you to use as opposed to usually I talk about these big philosophies, right? So, I have this website called Talk for Life. Here, I'll show you a slide here so it will stay in your memory. And there it is. Okay. This is my website. It's called talkforlife.com. And what I do there, I talk to people and they pay me for my time. Or actually they pay as much as they want, because what I offer, like in my Healing Olive website, I say, pay whatever you think you should pay. And I'm actually going to change it probably this weekend, that I will not ask for any money, and I will say just contribute what you feel you like to contribute after you talk to me, okay? But, I talk to people on many, many topics, whether it's mentoring or some people ask for advice and some people ask for healing. There's many, many, I can talk about anything. And I want to give you some wisdom from what I learned from talking to people. So, for example, the most important one, in my opinion, is, most people that are here come through this reality transurfing, because that's how I started this channel. I was more focused on reality transurfing, and I have this group on Facebook. And reality transurfing really is about manifesting, right? Manifesting your reality. But, people tell me, most people that talk to me about personal problems, they say, it's my ex did this to me, and because of that, I am where I am today. My parents did this to me, and this is why I am here. My family, my friends. And then they say, the universe keeps throwing curveballs at me, and they will say, my soul, before I came here, signed some kind of an agreement with the clouds or somebody, and it's all predetermined, I really don't have any control. And in the same breath, they are telling me that they want to create a new future for themselves. They want to manifest. So, in essence, what they are saying here is that they want to drive this car into the future and they want to navigate the way they want, but somebody else is holding the steering wheel. Now, that doesn't work, Either you take full responsibility of everything that ever happened to you and you say, I am in full control, and now I'm going to change how I drive that car, or just don't do it. Don't waste your time. Don't tell me that you're going to drive the car, but somebody else is holding the steering wheel, okay? So just an observation from my interaction with people on talkforlife.com. And I will come to some more of those as we go, okay? What I want to talk about next is would be very helpful for people who are stuck, that got very, very deep into some, call it the quicksand or into some kind of an alley, and they got so deep that they have no clue how to get out of there anymore. And they come for help because they figure that only magic can take them out of this problem that they are in. And many of them say, if I just could live my life again, I would do everything different, and I would do this and I would do that. So what I want to talk about is, in martial arts and boxing and even in running, there is what is called the starting stance. So you go and you stand in a certain way, in kickboxing. You always go back to that position. You fight, and you go back to that position. And why is that? Because if you keep fighting, especially in boxing, then you will entangle yourself so much into the fight that you cannot get out of it anymore. It becomes like, there's no way out. And, am I in focus here? And you must, once in a while, to go back to the starting line. And then reevaluate your situation and start all over again. Just like in any of those sports, like it has to be done. So it's the starting stance. And if you apply it in your life, then there is absolutely no reason why you cannot live your life again. Actually, you can live it much better because now you have all this experience, all this knowledge, all this education. You know what not to do, which is probably the most important thing in life. Just go back to that starting stance and live your life again. Nobody stops you. Okay? Remember, always try to go back to and decide in advance what is your starting stance. Decide, what is it? It's very important that you decide what is your starting stance. And it's different from everybody. But it has to be a place where you basically don't have anything pulling you or pushing you, and you just look at everything, reevaluate, and start again. Whether it's a fight, I don't really want to call life a fight, but you start the session again. Okay, another one. There is an issue that you cannot see. Only other people can see. And what it is that when you get yourself into some deep manure in life, like what you don't realize is that your judgment, your viewpoint from where you stand is also in that manure. So for you to make a logical decision how to manage this thing and how to get out of there is next to impossible. Because the tools that you are trying to use to recover yourself are also buried. But you don't realize that because you look and you think that you are always you, and you have the judgment, but you don't. Because your viewpoint shifts together with you. It doesn't stay always there, and you just go into some trouble or some problem or some, and it goes with you. And the extreme example of that would be mental disorder, right? When, I'm dealing with few people in my talkforlife.com sessions. I have few individuals which don't see reality the way it is. But to them, this is 100% real. And you cannot go to somebody like that and say, hey, you don't see reality correctly, because they're going to tell you don't see it. You don't see it. Of course I see it. So when you are in deep manure, like I said earlier, try to get somebody else to work with you and so they can see it from their reference point, which is much more objective than yours. Okay? Next one. And all these things are actually from my sessions. I made some notes and I'm just sharing with you my experience. I had a person that was one of the first people that actually came to me when I started beginning of this year. And he had a very serious issue, and he felt that he's totally, basically, totally stuck in this problem, and there's absolutely no way out. And what it was is he lives on the West Coast. He has a job. He's has a life. He lives in California, and his dad lives in New York City. He's a religious Jew, and his dad got the COVID, and he needs now full-time attention. He cannot take care of himself. So he went back to New York, and he staying with his dad. And he doesn't see any way out of it because he has to look after his dad. He's very dedicated, and he talked to me. He says, "Listen, my whole life is in ruins because I have debt, I have payments, and here I am sitting here. Not only do I have expenses, but I don't have any income. How do I get out of it?" And I told him, when you have a problem that seemingly has no solution, try to replace it with another one that does have a solution. And in your case, for example, if you hire somebody to look after your dad, it's expensive, it's going to cost you money, but at least now it has a solution because all you need to do is make more money. Before you had no way out. Now, maybe it's complicated, but at least it has a solution. So what I'm saying is, when you have a problem that in your mind has no solution, try to replace it with another problem rather than trying to resolve it, because you say it's no solution, so you cannot resolve it. Try to replace it with a problem that does have a solution. And then you can, even if the solution is totally in the sky, then at least you can work towards it, right? And fix it. All right. Another one from my life experience. I grew up in a town in Israel that was right on the Mediterranean Ocean. And I spent my childhood up until late teenager. I spent on the beach, practically. In the summer, I used to work, whether selling ice cream or working in the parking, and I always swam in the ocean, winter, summer, and that area is very tricky. There's lots of currents and rocks, but since I grew up there, I could navigate and I was good. And what I learned from it, most people, when they drown in the ocean, is because of currents. Because there is unexpected currents and they pull you into the deep, and this is how people die. And the reason that most of them drown is because they fight the current. You cannot fight the current. If you get caught in a current in the ocean, you just let go and try to relax and just float on it. Because at some point it will throw you out and then you can swim back. But like I said, most people fight the current. And life is exactly the same way. If you end up in some kind of a current that pulls you somewhere, just go with it. Don't fight it. Don't waste your energy. Just go with it. And at some point it will throw you out. Whether it's, call it pendulum or whatever. It's not going to hold you forever. Just go with it. Don't waste energy. Keep your energy to go back when it lets go. Okay? All right. Now we're coming back to this, what I promised you in the last video. And somebody told me here, actually one of my friends, that I make promises and then I forget. So this time I didn't forget. So what I want to talk about is, you can call it manifesting, or I call it like execution of something. And this thing with the COVID is one of those things. And keep in mind, again, this is quantum. It's unpredictable. But I discovered over the last, maybe 3-4 years that if I say something in a certain way and I don't attach anything to it, and I am not, usually if it's not my personal, doesn't affect me personally, it's much easier. And what it is that you say something with certainty, with clarity, and you just say it. You say to somebody, you will heal. You will be absolutely fine. Tomorrow by 11, you will be released from the hospital. If you just say it spontaneously, you don't plan it and you don't think about it, and you say it in a clear way, without any attachments to anything, most likely it will happen. And it can be as crazy as, it doesn't matter. Like I said, it takes the same to change reality where the fly disappears off the wall or to get the covet gone. It's exactly the same thing. So you may as well shoot higher. But it's a way, like you have to really be clear, not in any kind of, it's the opposite here, no emotions, like no, don't think about anything, and just, I know it's a paradox because you have to think what you're going to say, but you will have to find your way to do it. And just say it with certainty, say it aloud, and you will be totally amazed that this thing will happen to you, okay? I will talk about it more as I develop it better, because I've done so far maybe 10 things like that worked. And it totally shocked me. But I can see that, you know, even if you look at it scientifically, which I don't like to have scientific proof, but this is working. Well, the proof is going to be in the pudding anyway. So, the last thing I want to talk about is, you know, in 2 videos ago, I had this quiz competition that whoever is going to get the most likes, when I asked the question, if you were assigned as a Messiah with all the powers, what would you do? And I asked people to write down the comments on YouTube. And we had a winner. He had 22 likes. I think the next up was with 14. So he received from me the healing olive and the whole package. Value is $1,000. That's what I asked for it on my website. And his web name here is Bunny. So you can look it up. And I think that's it for this video. So remember, if you need to contact me, and it doesn't have to cost you money, but you know, and I have quite a few people contacting me continuously. I guess at some point I'll have too many. I won't be able to answer everybody, but at this stage I still try, and I answer I answer everybody. I reply to everybody. So just go to www.talkforlife.com, and you can either email me from there or send a message from there. So this is it for today. In the next video, I will continue the one that deals with the shared or global reality that I started last time. And I have quite a few things to say there. And until then, I wish you all the best. Thank you for being with me here.